Hey, just finished my Tai Chi class here at the Rec Center, my beginner's Tai Chi. And I thought I would make a quick video for some more drunken course action. The ideas of the Fuji Gong Fa, as opposed to the Jibin Gong, I think we've discussed many different times. The biggest thing, of course, is that Jibin Gong, just to review, is basic skills. So this is the kind of stuff you see in every single martial art, right? Everybody does a horse stance, everybody does a bow stance, everybody throws punches and kicks and whatever. Fuji Gong Fa are exercises that are called supplemental training, and they're meant to go directly at a particular skill that a Gong Fu style uses. So if Gong Fu style uses a lot of heavy dropping power, for instance, then there's going to be particular exercises in order to acquire that heavy dropping power. If a style uses a lot of floating force, there's going to be ways of floating the opponent that are going to be learned through particular exercises. Usually these are the really weird exercises you don't see everybody in the club doing, just kind of the people that seem to be tortured a lot by the teacher. So anyway, in Drunken we've got a big group of these. And I thought I would share with you guys shaking power left and right in a little bit of detail, because I don't think I have actually filmed it before. So let me put the camera down and we'll discuss what the vibe is. So, yeah, you can see me all right. So just to review, right? Dantian moves first, 6 harmonies follow. In this case, meaning that this part of my body, Dantian moves first, and then it ripples outwards. So Dantian moves first, the hips follow. It comes up the spine, the shoulders follow. Okay? So the shoulders and hips are the first pair of harmonies. And then the knees and the elbows, and then the wrists and the ankles all follow, right? So everything ripples from the center of the body. And the idea is that you end up with long muscular cascades of contraction. You want to get long muscular chains of events to take place. The more muscle I engage during a movement, before I hit my opponent, or deal some kind of power to them, the more power I can recruit out of my body. That's why punching, just with your arm is kind of nonsensical in a way, because the only muscle that does that is my tricep. My tricep is only this big. I'd much rather throw my whole ability of power, ability of muscular contraction at you instead of my tricep muscle. So, that being said, shaking power left and right from Drunken Boxing. So what we're going to do is I'm going to kind of tear this to bits a little bit. So shaking power left and right is the one that comes up and then you fajin one side or the other out of it. But it's how this whole movement takes place that matters. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move Dantian in order to raise one hand. So I'm going to take my right hand and I'm going to push Dantian towards it. So my pelvis turns to the right, and what I want it to do is I want it to ripple down my arm and push my arm out. And I want it to go out and up slightly. So it's almost like Dantian kind of bumps it. You see what I mean? Just kind of bumps it up. And now that I'm all the way to the right, I'm going to do the same on the left. I go to the other side, bump my left arm, bump my right arm. Okay? Left arm, right arm. And you start to get this. Okay? Let's do that again. You start to get this one and the other lifting. And basically when there's not a moment of me pushing an arm, so if I do it with one arm, I push the arm, I leave it in space as I do the other side, and then I push the arm again. So I'm not just letting it settle back down and then trying to push it farther. Okay? So it's slowly like climbing a ladder on each side. Now when I get to the top, which is the barrel shape, so I'm not above my shoulders, okay, that's really important. My shoulder blades are being pulled down towards my waist. Everything's in place, right? All of the rules are being obeyed. Then, whatever one I'm choosing to do, shaking power to my right hand or to my left hand, the very last one, I shoot as much as I possibly can out through my cup fist. And what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to shoot power to my side, okay? So, not directly sideways, but like sideways on a 45-degree angle, okay? So, this is my lines of force when I actually do the fajin, is out here, not 180 degrees. So, I push, 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 push. And if I do my left hand, I go to my right, and then shoot to my left hand. Okay? If I do my right hand, I'm pushing, pushing, pushing. I go to my left, and then across to my right hand. Now, when I learned this, I don't know why, but one of the things that went through my head was like throwing a ball from hand to hand. It seemed to work for me. So it's like I've got a ball here, and I throw it to my other hand, and I throw it to my other hand, right? Boom, 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 boom. And then the fajin is like I've got the ball here, and I shoot it to this arm, but I shoot it really fast. And that puts the power out to here. This is me catching the ball, right? Make sense? I hope so. As this becomes easy, so maybe it takes me 6 movements to get up, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, bang, whatever. What I do is I start to make them smaller movements. So just tiny little movements like this. So now I'm only lifting my arm, an inch or 2 each time as I go up. What I'm trying to do essentially is I'm trying to make myself more and more efficient. So Drunken starts out huge. Really, really huge, very sloppy, very obvious and theatrical. And the reason is that I'm trying to get these muscular cascades to learn each other and learn how they work, right? So if I want to shoot an arm out, I know how to get my whole body to be behind that. Once I have that ability, though, then I have to make it smaller. I have to let it become quiet. If you think of it as loud and quiet, you're going to have a lot more use, out of what ends up happening here. A loud movement is easy to see. A quiet movement not only is harder to see, but it tends to be more efficient. So for the last bit of this vid, I want you to try 1 inch higher. 1 inch higher. Just like this. Until you get to the top, and then out of a side, and end up back in your barrel shape. So I'll just do a couple to finish up. So shaking power left and right. So hopefully that makes some sense. Don't kill the shake. Let it settle back down. Right? Sloshing power, always taking place. Shaking power left and right. Hope that helps.